Hello, folks. Welcome back to my channel. This is Horror Town, and today I have another horror movie review for you. And since we have reached the month of October, I believe that it is only in order that I review one of the most iconic franchises of horror of all time, named Halloween, right? So, this is John Carpenter's Halloween, the first film from the franchise that was released in 1978. And yes, this is how it all begins, right? I really like the promotional poster with the big knife, the jack-o'-lantern there, and basically you see how sharp it is. It's gleaming, the end, the sharp blade, and it reads the big headlines. The night he came home, right? The big tag word, right? Tagline, whatever you want to call it, I'm not sure. But I really like it, especially with the whole darkness around. It's black, it's dark, and you have that kind of glow, orange sort of glow, yellowish as well, in the foreground to kind of get our attention. What is this about? So, Halloween is obviously an icon in horror, in the history of horror. It is, widely talked about by horror movie fans, and everybody likes it. Pretty much, every horror movie fan within the community is talking about this film, and that it is a must for anybody who likes horror films, especially during this time of year. So, before I move on to the review myself, to the review that I want to give on this film, I would like to mention that some other awesome YouTubers happen to review these films, the franchise, the whole franchise. Actually, it's still ongoing because there are new movies being released every year, but at least, the movies that we have up until now have been reviewed by many people. Some of them are some of my favorite YouTubers of all time, Strange Michael and Stranger Grayson, if I'm not mistaken. I will put their channels in the comment section down below, in the not the comment section, the description of this video, so that you can check out their work. And please support them. They're doing such an awesome job at reviewing horror films. So I'm gonna be throwing my head in the ring in terms of having this kind of Halloween-a-thon, where I will try to review as many Halloween movies as I can this month. But I can't really promise that I will reach the end by the end of October. But at the very least, I will try my level best to review as many as I possibly can. So now here it goes. Let's begin with this first film, right? Halloween, 1978. What is it about? So basically, this movie opens up with the opening scene, the opening sequence, where you have basically somebody kind of in the kind of outside of a big house, and they seem to be, whoever they seem to be kind of stalking a little bit, and you're going to have them going close to the house. And obviously, this is the house, this is the Myers house, and you have Judith, the big sister, and basically her brother is named Michael. And I don't want to spoil too much or anything, but needless to say that something pretty big is going to happen, something involving a knife. And I'll let you find out for yourselves what it is exactly. For those who haven't watched it, I don't want to spoil and ruin anything for you. But needless to say that this is the big kind of opening scene of the film. And this is how it's going to set pretty much the whole kind of, plot into motion, right? So after that, basically, this young boy at the time, Michael Myers, is going to be committed to some kind of a psychiatric facility, some kind of sanitarium, asylum, whatever you want to call it. I don't really recall exactly the name of that place, of that facility, but, I believe that Grayson mentioned it in his review. Yes, I'm not really good with names. Sometimes certain terms don't stick, but, if you want to hear about what it is called, please watch his review. And yes, good job on that, by the way, for remembering. I kind of forgot, right? Anyhow, yes, so this is it. It is taking place in Haddonfield, if I'm not mistaken, in Illinois, right? In the state of Illinois. And basically, Michael is going to spend some time there in this facility, in this asylum. And then 15 years later, So it actually began in 1963, if I'm not mistaken, the whole kind of incident at the house. And then we move on to 1978, right? 15 years later. And basically, Michael Myers is going to escape. It's hardly a spoiler because this is basically the whole kind of, you know, plot, right? The night he came home, obviously, right? So he's going to escape. And Dr. Samuel Loomis, who was basically kind of treating him, who was his psychiatrist, is going to be pretty worried that his patient just escaped, right? And he's going to kind of, try to hunt him down, try to find him in time before he does something, bad, right? So he's going to be basically on his tail, trying to, find out about his whereabouts. And it's obviously he's going to go back to Haddonfield, Illinois, to the town that is, after he spent some time at that sanitarium. He's going to go back to his hometown, right? And basically over there, we're going to have the main characters that are going to be introduced. Laurie Strode, who's basically a high school student, and her friends, Annie Brackett and Linda Van der Klock, right? So basically, they're cheerlead. One of them is a cheerleader. I think it's Linda or Annie. Linda, I believe, is a cheerleader. So they're going to high school, and also they're babysitters, right? And Lori is basically kind of babysits this kid named Tommy Doyle, right? And obviously, this is Halloween night, by the way. So yes, now this is October 31st in this film. It takes place it begins with October 31st, 1963. Then you have October 30th, and then you have October 31st. So this is basically, yes, there are a few days, obviously, in this film, kind of extending, right? So you have these main days. So basically, yes, she's about to babysit Tommy Doyle that night. And obviously, her father, who's wants to sell the Myers house. So basically, yes, she's gonna, she's told not to go there because the house has this kind of, the kids believe that it's haunted or something, and that nobody should, go close to it. And there's this boogeyman kind of tall tale going around, that there's a boogeyman and, he will get you or something like this. So it's basically pretty much this kind of tall tale that children kind of, made up, right? This story, right? This legend. I don't know really how to call it, how to refer to it, but this is pretty much it. But then as the night, settles in, it's nighttime now, and Michael is gonna be stalking these teenagers, right? And obviously, Laurie Strode is gonna be pretty, before that night, she thought that she saw Michael kind of stalking a little bit, outside of her school, out in the yard of her house or something like this, near the clothesline. So she's really, she's kind of haunted, so to speak, by this figure that is all around, right? So this is pretty much how it goes. And then on that night, Michael is gonna strike, and everything is gonna go pretty scary. Everything is gonna take a turn for the worse, as we say. Pretty scary, pretty frightening indeed. So this is pretty much how it goes. I think I better shut up before I start, kind of spoiling the movie, which I wouldn't want to do. But yeah, basically, also I didn't mention, but the sheriff, who's the father of a girl of Lori France, Annie Brackett, her father is the sheriff, and he's also gonna be kind of at some point working alongside Dr. Loomis to try and find Michael before he does something bad. So this is pretty much how it goes. So I spent about 10 minutes talking about the plot. Now let me tell you about my thoughts and views on this film. Halloween obviously is a classic, a 1978 film that was awesome. Really enjoyed watching it every year in October around Halloween, obviously, because this is such a timeless classic, right? You must watch it. If you really like horror movie and you haven't watched Halloween, I mean, what's the matter with you? I'm sorry, I'm kidding. I'm just trying to be humorous a little bit. But anyhow, yes, Halloween is such a good horror film. It is such, the whole kind of plot. It's a slasher film, one of the first ones of its kind, and the way it begins, the way it progresses, the music, the development, it is so good. Honestly, it's about an hour and a half, but it really flies. Time goes by so quickly when you're watching it because obviously it keeps you at the edge of your seat, right? And the suspense, the suspenseful themes, and the music and the build up is so awesome. Honestly, up until the very end, you've just felt like you've had an awesome time. So Halloween is definitely a movie I recommend to any horror fan who haven't even watched it yet. I would really like people to watch this film, if they haven't already, because it is so good. I really, really enjoyed it. It is such an awesome film in the history of horror, and the characters are awesome. So we have Donald Pleasance as the actors, you know. Donald Pleasance plays Dr. Sam Loomis, who's awesome as the psychiatrist. Really, really enjoyed him. But then we have Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays Laurie Strode. Jamie Lee Curtis, who I recall seeing her in a few other productions. She's a pretty good actress, but definitely this is the movie that kind of, where her career took off, right? As she played Laurie Strode, she's mostly remembered for that. So she was pretty awesome in this movie. I really enjoyed her acting, her performance, really, really good. Nothing negative to say about it. Really, really enjoyed how she played the main character. Then we have Nick Castle, who plays the Shape, Michael Myers, the boogeyman. And Nick Castle was pretty good too, I have to say. Yes, he was pretty scary. We see some kind of a glimpse in one of the scenes, and yeah, this is pretty good. Then we have Nancy Loomis, who plays Annie Brackett, who is pretty good. PJ Souls plays Linda Van de Klok, who PJ Souls was in Carrie, 1976, if I'm not mistaken. I reviewed the film. If you haven't watched it, please do so. PJ Souls was one of the bullies in Carrie, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, she was a mean girl. And in this one, yeah, she's pretty mean too. She's one of these kind of popular girls too, who's a little bit stuck up on herself. And yeah, didn't really enjoy her character that much, but the performance of the actress was pretty good. The actress did well. Then we have Charles Cyphers, who plays Sheriff Lee Brackett, another one of my favorite characters. Really liked him in this. Then we have Kyle Richards, who plays Lindsay Wallace, who is one of the young girls who is babysitted, right? Then we have Brian Andrews, who plays Tommy Doyle. Really enjoyed him, especially the children actors were pretty good in this movie. Though, even though it's difficult when you're a child to act, especially when you're surrounded by adults. And I have to say, they did pretty well, right? So it was pretty awesome. Then we have John Michael Graham, who plays Bob Sims. Yes, so who was he was Linda's boyfriend, right? Then we have Nancy Stevens, who plays Marion Chambers, Nurse Marion at the beginning. Then we have Arthur Mallet, who plays Angus Taylor. I don't really remember all the actors, but maybe I will tell you about a few others. Robert Phelan plays Dr. Wynn, and Sandy Johnson plays Judith Myers, right? So those are the main actors and characters. There are others, but yes, those are the main ones, and I give credit, I do, to all the actors and actresses who made this movie what it is. They all did an awesome job, but for time's sake, I'm just gonna name the main ones, if that's okay with you. Right, so really enjoyed all of them, especially, the whole, performance. Even though the characters are not always that likable, they were still, the whole stalking kind of, plot storyline was pretty good in this movie, with Michael being, after them and trying to obviously hurt them. Wow, it was so terrifying. It was so scary. It was so gnarly. And the jump scares in this movie are so awesome. It made me jump in more than one scenes, to be honest with you. The music is awesome. There are a few funny scenes, though. I don't know if it's intended to be this way, but at some point in the beginning, at some point during the escape, the nurse is kind of dragged up or something like that. She's pulled up out of the car or something like this, and you have Michael jumping on top of the car. I thought that this was hilarious. It didn't make me scared. It made me laugh. Also, at some point when the children are, hauling butt out of the house because, they have to call for help. Noe tells them to go and call for help, and they start screaming, their heads off. I thought that this was hilarious as well. So this movie, despite being really scary, really terrifying, really keeping us at the edge of our seats the whole time, it has a lot of humor in it, but I don't know if it's intended to be this way. Maybe it's just me. I'm a little strange sometimes when I watch horror films. I laugh when I shouldn't. But I think that certain scenes in this film were just funny. But yeah, really enjoyed this whole movie with the whole jack-o'-lanterns also. The way they're carved out. It's really scary. It's really realistic. So really, really enjoyed this whole movie with the houses also, with the lawns. At some point when the teenagers are going back home from school, you have this street. It's so clean, it's so beautiful. I don't really know where it was shot. I didn't check it out. But the street is so clean. And the way the camera moves, especially in the beginning, in the opening scene, when you see it from Michael's perspective, I believe, the camera moving, it was so good, right? The whole perspective, the way it seems that somebody is stalking them, the teenagers, as you have the camera moving, up, and you have the teenagers walking down that street, is so good, so good, so good. Really enjoyed it, right? So it was an awesome movie with everybody involved. The children did a good job. The characters did a good job. And also another movie, another John Carpenter's movie is advertised in this film. It is actually The Thing from 1982. They're going to be watching it at some point, the children, on that TV screen. I think these were pretty good, right? Especially since it's another one of John Carpenter's classic films. But really enjoyed this Halloween film. So if I were to rate this movie on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. Maybe not the best one in the franchise. It gets even better. It gets even better as you go on. But heck, it was good for what it was. It definitely kept me at the edge of my seat. It kept me wondering where this whole thing going, right? So I really enjoyed it so much. Halloween is definitely a classic that I enjoy watching every single Halloween, every single year. And I want to share something with you. A few years back in 2021, I went to the small theater that is located near my house, and I live near this wooded area, this forest, and basically I went to watch it at nighttime. October nighttime, happens pretty soon, pretty early. So I was watching this film. It was around 8 p.m. or something like this. And basically, I was watching this film in this little theater, right? It was a showing of the Halloween film a couple of years ago. And the music, as Michael said in his review, it's really, really good, and it really stays in you. And I remember as I was watching back home from this little theater located near my house, and I have to walk near the woods, the forest, and it's so quiet at night, and it's kind of eerie, and I have the music kind of replaying in my mind as I'm walking back home, and it was such a priceless moment, right? And I really hold this time, dear to me, having watched it, having experienced this at a little theater, right? Since I didn't watch this film in 1978 in theaters. I don't know how it was like, because I wasn't born in 1978. But yeah, anyhow, I really enjoyed, having had this experience of seeing it in theaters, right? And going back home, and the music stayed with me, and you're a little scared, right? As you hear some noise in the woods, and you turn around, and you remember Michael Myers, and you don't really know, whatever, any sound can make you jump. It is so good. It is such a good moment, such an awesome time. So I'm so happy I happened to live that time. So 9 out of 10 for me. Really awesome movie, sorry. Really great. First film of the franchise. Really enjoyed it. And like I said, this time stayed with me when I was watching it. And it's about the memories, like Michael said. Michael remembers, as he was telling us in his review, he watched it with his grandparents, his family, his grandmother, if I'm not mistaken. I'm so happy for you, man. And I definitely can relate to you. It's the memories, right? Remembering watching it, right? For yourselves many times when you were younger. And me too. Especially that time, as I was telling you about in the theater, when I went to watch it by myself and I was walking back home. And I remember the music still being in my mind as I was making my way back to my house. And I was kind of scared too because, I just watched this horror film. I'm not usually one to go out at night. But in this particular instance, I wanted to go there to watch this film, and the theater is so close to my house. It's only a few minutes walk, so I decided to myself it would be awesome, an awesome experience. And guess what? It was. So I really enjoyed this movie, everything, up until the very end with the final twist is kind of like a big cliffhanger, as you can, those who have watched it would know about it. as you know that there's something more coming, right? And it is actually the way it paves the way for the sequel, for the second film, for the second part, that takes place right afterwards. So awesome movie, nothing more to say about it. I better shut up now, right? Because I told you enough about it, and if I keep talking, I'm afraid that I might spoil the movie. But awesome movie, 9 out of 10. Really enjoyed the whole movie, the whole progression, and the whole ending. The jump scares are awesome. The music is wonderful. Is beautiful. It's scary. It keeps us at the edge of our seats. It's eerie. It's so good. Everything you could expect in a horror film is there in this film, and whoever does not appreciate the movie for what it was, I don't know what to say really. But 9 out of 10 for me. One of the most awesome films in horror. Also, I didn't mention it, but I would like to say it. The movie was also produced by Mustafa Akkad, who is a pretty talented Syrian director and producer, and he actually happened to produce this film. Not a lot of people mention that, but it is worth mentioning that this film producer produced this film. So just wanted to let you know about this. So anyhow, awesome film. Really, really enjoyed it. So also Deborah Hill produced it, as I can see here on Wikipedia. But yes, Mustafa Akkad as well, right? Anyhow, this is all for me for this movie. So really enjoyed it. 9 out of 10. What about you folks? What do you think about Halloween? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Anything you'd like to tell me about it? And with Halloween right around the corner, I thought to myself, it is only in order that I should review this film and let you know about my thoughts, my perspective on this film. So that's it for my review. As I said, 9 out of 10 for me as my rating, and that's pretty much it. So let me know, folks, about what you thought about this movie. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next review for Halloween 2. In the meantime, folks, stay safe, goodbye, take care, and please check out my friends' reviewing channels, their Halloween-a-thon, their Halloween reviews. I will link their channels to the description, God willing. It is Strange Grayson and Stranger Michael, right? Or is it Stranger Grayson and Strange Michael? Please forgive me, guys, if I got the names wrong or mixed up. But your channels will be pinned down on the comment section, on the description down below. Thank you for participating in this, and I'll see you on the next review. In the meantime, folks, stay safe. Goodbye. Take care. This is the Horror Town for you, signing off.